This is a special bonus episode of the Morning Scoop. On Friday morning, we got a chance to talk to Ohio State head coach Ryan Day, Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham about the 2022 Rose Bowl. Figured there's a lot of good stuff in there. Figured we'll throw a quick show together, just give you some highlights from that show, from those interviews, just get you up to speed before tomorrow's big game. So let's start with Ryan Day. He was asked about the number of players that Ohio State has. There was earlier in the week, Dan Hope from 11 Warriors counted 63 players at Ohio State's practice. They said they were not anticipating adding anyone else. So 63 scholarship players coming in this game. There are position groups where they may be a little thin coming into the Rose Bowl. Ryan Day was asked, is that a concern? Are you concerned that you may be too thin going into the Rose Bowl, or are you kind of comfortable with the numbers where they are?
Yeah, I think certainly we've had our adversity over the last month, but what a great opportunity for some of our younger guys to come in and start this thing off the right way. Certainly at receiver, that's going to be a great opportunity for them. And we've talked about it before. There's a good portion of this team that'll be coming back next year. So what a great opportunity for them to play in this game, and certainly against a very, very good team in Utah. I mean, the way that they played down the stretch and how they've played together and playing complementary football, and certainly a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Whittingham and what he's done with not only in his career, but certainly this year with this team and all the things that they've been through. So it's a big challenge for our guys, and what a great opportunity for them at the end of the year. Really two things: for the younger guys to build momentum, but for the older guys to end this thing the right way. And but no, to answer your question, we feel like we got plenty.
One of the questions this week, obviously, has been around the status of wide receiver Chris Olave. He has officially opted out for the Rose Bowl, but then he's been at practice every day in full pads, working with the team. And the story all week has been he just wants to be there with his team. He wants to be there with his guys. He's going to be at the Rose Bowl. So Day was asked, is there any chance that he completely shocks the world and decides, I'll throw on the pads, run out of the tunnel, and play just one more game as a Buckeye?
I don't think so, but certainly we would be excited if he did. I just have so much respect for what Chris did coming back this year. He certainly had an opportunity to be possibly, end of the first day, early second day pick coming out of last year. He decided to come back and really did a great job in leading, and then didn't want to leave the team. Wanted to stick with it through the bowl and practice and be around our players and our guys, and that meant a lot to him, certainly being from Southern California. So I don't expect that to happen, but you never know.
Now, the official availability report for the game is going to come out about 2 hours before kickoff. We'll have that for you on one of our pregame shows on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, depending on which time zone you're watching in. But right now, so far, we have not seen people like Sevyn Banks, Antoine Jackson, Marcus Williamson this week at practice. So is there any chance that any of those guys potentially play on Saturday in the Rose Bowl? Here's what Dave had to say about that.
There's a few guys in there that are sort of game time decisions, and instead of getting into all of those guys, we'll handle it with the availability report, and some of those guys will be game time decisions, as it comes through towards the end of the week and closer to the game.
Utah's offense is a very tough, physical running team, and we already know that Haskell Garrett has officially opted out. Antoine Jackson hasn't been at practice all week, as I mentioned just a minute ago. So how big of a concern is that, knowing that they might be a little bit thin on the interior of that defensive line with the challenge coming from Utah?
Well, like any game, but very important for a lot of reasons in this game, certainly how physical Utah plays. The challenge has been set forth to win up front and to be physical in this game. That's nothing new. That's not groundbreaking, but it certainly has been an emphasis and always is an emphasis. But yeah, we are down a couple guys, but we have plenty of guys in there. And so for the coaches, the leaders, and the players, the challenge has been set forth, and now it's time to go put it on the field on Saturday.
One of the many great mysteries this month has been how much input has new defensive coordinator Jim Knowles had around the game plan for this game. Knowles, of course, does not officially start until January 2nd, but he isn't working with Oklahoma State, so he has to do something this month, right? So Day has talked about, maybe he's going to come into the facility from time to time, but Day was asked on Friday, how much has he actually had an impact on the game plan for the Rose Bowl?
Decided that with Jim, this is just going to be something that we start after the bowl game, and kind of inappropriate, I think, to even have any type of input coming from the outside. You just don't know the situation. You don't know the scheme up to that point. There's just a lot of things when you step into a situation that is very difficult. So we just decided that we'll start fresh on the 2nd, and still trying to figure out what that mix of guys is going to be moving forward, and that's going to be important for our team. But our job is to put our guys in environment to be the most successful, and that's my job, is to do that and surround them with that. So that's what we'll do here.
And one thing I wanted to share from Kyle Whittingham, it's going to be a moment that happens kind of on the last commercial break of the third quarter or the first commercial break of the fourth quarter. It's something that you're probably going to see on the TV broadcast if you're watching from home, or obviously if you're in the stadium. It is called the moment of loudness. Now, we've talked about the kind of tragic history of Utah football over the last year with the deaths of two active players, Ty Jordan and Aaron Lowe. This is the way that Utah remembers those guys at games. What they do is, it's like a moment of silence, except the exact opposite. All of the guys will, at Utah home games, they'll put a video up on the screen of Kyle Whittingham telling the fans to hold up their cell phones, turn on the lights so you get that cool camera phone light look around the stadium, wave them around, and then scream as loud as they can. The idea, he says, on the video board at Rice Eccles Stadium, he says, scream so loudly they can hear you in heaven. So that is undoubtedly going to be something that you will see on the TV broadcast, and if you will see it in person in the stadium if you're there. But here's a little bit about Whittingham talking about that tradition.
Well, it's been incredible. We've had that at our stadium all season long, and we had it in the championship game. And to be able to honor our two players that we lost in that fashion has been terrific. I get choked up every time I go through it and experience it. And it's just a great way to keep their memory alive. Our team is excited about it and really looks forward to it. And so I'm glad that we were able to bring that to the Rose Bowl, because I guess there was some question whether or not we were going to be able to do that. But thankful that we're able to implement that at least one more time this season.
Well, that'll do it for this special bonus episode of The Morning Scoop. We'll be back with a typical episode. We're going to drop it a little early on Friday evening for you. That is a Ross Fulton episode, which I know people love. Lot of great insight from Ross on this, the Rose Bowl. Some things you can watch for potential matchup concerns for Ohio State. The differences between certain positions, because people get kind of confused on the differences between the linebacker positions and the safety positions. All the great insight you have come to know and love from Ross Fulton. That'll be dropping a little later on today. And then, of course, we will have our usual pre- and post-game coverage live from the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. It should be a fantastic football game. Lots of fascinating storylines to talk about and watch and enjoy. So we will be back with all of that on New Year's Day. Hope you guys have a very happy New Year, and we will see you a little later on tonight with Ross, and then tomorrow morning at the Rose Bowl.